Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Ranking Member DeGette for holding this. And thank you, Madam Secretary, for being here. You know, back home, I'm in the Indiana 6th District. I spent my entire life in the petroleum distribution business. And I like to say I got the energy where it needed, when it needed to be there, affordably, in the quantities, and at the right time. I've held roundtables in Indiana every 2 or 3 months. It includes the state of Indiana, utilities, research universities like Purdue and Vincennes, parking and mobility experts, charging station developers. They've all joined together and they've shared with me what's happening on the ground. That's the most important thing. And of course, like all my peers, I've met with folks out here that tell me what's going on. Let me ask you a question I always ask others. It's a goofy question, but do you know how many cars they sell in Europe every year?
In Europe? No, I do not.
About 8 million. Do you know how many cars they sell in the United States every year?
Well, we've got over 300 million on the roads, I know that.
So about 16 million. These are round numbers. Yeah, and how many cars do they sell in China where we know they want EVs?
A lot more.
28 million. So sometimes I worry a little bit that what we're doing is we're rolling out supporting the automobile industry so that they can sell more cars in China. And I would laud Toyota that has looked at hybrids. Let me ask you this. Why haven't we looked more at hybrids instead of saying, let's go to EVs so fast?
We're in favor of hybrid electric.
You're in favor of it,
Yeah.
okay. Did you
And they
mandate,
get tax
did you
credits.
mandate hybrids by
Nobody's
2035?
mandating anything, just to be clear. There's no
Okay.
mandates, but hybrid electric vehicles are absolutely
So I
qualified
agree,
for the tax
nobody's mandating anything, but you're incentivizing the heck out of.
credit. Incentivizing hybrids too.
Sure, and in these roundtables, the first one I had about 18 months ago, I said, and there's about 30 people there, and we share what's happening out in the marketplace. I said, you're all here because of the incentives, the grants, and the dollars that the federal government are putting out. Now tell me how that's going. And it's one horror story after another. Are you aware of the problems with the EV, with the charging stations, with the processing systems in the charging stations, with the inability to get the electricity to where they want to put the charging stations, with the problems they have in urban areas where EVs or charging stations are a real problem in parking garages and apartment complexes?
100% I'm aware of that, and
What's
that's what
the-
the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Initiative is all about, is to fix those very problems.
So to give money to solve a problem
Well, to
that
create-
that is
to
being
fix-
created by this administration.
To fix the gaps in the infrastructure associated with electric vehicles, yes, our goal is to get 500,000 charging stations out there across the country. Today, there are 188,000. There are still gaps. It is difficult to get
And you're
charging.
well aware of how many of those are not operating, that aren't
Yes,
working
and
when
part
people
of
pull.
part of that whole initiative is to do a rip and replace.
So why
that states can do that.
doesn't, here's what I'm saying, I'm not here to argue with you today. I'm for all of the above, like everybody else on this committee is, but why can't we be a little more cautious and take our time on rolling this out, going after the carbon industry? I'm a little concerned about e-RINs. I talked with the EPA the last time he was here. I think he'll be here in 2 weeks. I didn't know what e-RINs, what's the motivation behind e-RINs? Why can't the administration just take a little bit of a time out and reassess what's happening out in the field that my constituents tell me about?
Yeah, we're assessing every single day. And in fact, there's a lot of push for us to move much faster on the one hand, and some who are
They
saying
can't
we're
be
slower.
by the people that are out there implementing these things. The people I meet with, they're putting in the charging stations. They're the utility companies. They're the distribution companies. That whoever's telling you to move faster is not part of the solution of getting where you want to go and where we'd all like to go.
Well, I know we talked to different folks, but we are trying to solve for those very problems that you're describing. It takes on average 18 months to pull electricity to an area for a charging station, for a fast charger, where it doesn't already exist. the state of Indiana, has the funding to be able to do this, and they are doing it in their
They're
own way.
just shortage on transformers and
Right,
things like that.
right. We're
With
working
that,
on,
my time.
strive for all of those things, everywhere, all at once.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Chairman. I yield
Gentleman's
back.
time's